So I'm going to go live a few times. Like I said, I'll go live sometimes when I'm training on the field, or something like that. But my son is finishing up baseball this week. He's got a tournament next weekend. He's been 32 for 38, 11 RBIs, 2 doubles. I keep his stats because I pitched to him, and we were working on that stuff. Feeling got a lot better from the beginning of the year, but we were working on that in the summer. That was me just working on his hitting. And he's great at hitting. He's a monster at hitting. But as far as football-wise, he's gotten so much better from last fall. He was even good last fall, but they didn't give him the ball enough. Until even this spring, he did great. Trying to be a leader, more of a leader emotionally on the team. That's what I want him to do with some of the younger kids out there. As far as me is concerned, like I said, I contacted Jacksonville. I've done that stuff. Sioux Falls, voicemail with them. Duke City, I don't know what he's doing. 2 years ago, like I said, he had said pack my bags, and my bags were packed. So, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, I don't know what he's doing out there. Some of the coaches have who they have. They don't want to bring a veteran player in, even if it's under the veteran rule with 7 guys. But I don't appreciate or respect the coaches when they do that stuff and they act, they don't call you back or they say bring it out there and you call them up and this is a guy with kids and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, why are you acting like that? Like, why are you acting like you're 15 years old? I mean, that's ridiculous. And I've been pro on and off the field, and like I said, when you literally have been, there's a point in time when you're professional, when you're sitting here and you're doing everything humble, you're saying everything humble, you're doing all that stuff, and if it's not working, I'm fixing it. All right, so I say what I'm going to say, and I'm boisterous in what I say. All right, a lot of those people weren't there in college, they weren't there in high school, they weren't there in college. Some of the teammates that I had weren't in those offices. They weren't in there. Those offices with me, those meetings with me and Karis, with LK, they weren't. Those were meetings. There was a few times, like I said, I was brought into his office, and he's seen me. And one of the things that drove me, that always still drives me to this day, is when I remember, and this is just a little, I'm going to tell you this story. I want you to listen to this. I'll tell you this story. I remember I'd be running stadiums in the snow. There was an overhang at Mount Union, and some of the teammates can say this. They know this. There was an overhang at Mount Union, so the home side of the stadium, was literally, it was covered. So there used to be a pigeon up there, and they used to feed him bread. There was a pigeon up there, and they used to feed him bread all the time. He has home up there. And what I did was I trained doing stadiums. We'd have jump stretch on Wednesdays, so I trained Wednesdays and Fridays at the stadium before we'd have jump stretch. So I trained at the stadium before we had jump stretch. So Wednesdays I'll be in the overhang in the snow and the ice. And I know the first time I looked at the offices. The offices, now the coaches' offices, so the stadium would be here. The coaches' offices would be right up there. So, like, the coaches can see the field. I would see LK. I would see Karis, Larry Karis. I would see he's the head coach. He's the head coach of the college, of a football team. So I sat there, and I would run in the snow. I would run in the snow. I would do my drills in the damn snow. It could be fucking 10 degrees outside. I'd be there. And I'd see him watching. He'd be like this, just watching. And I remember I would do that, and every time I would do that, because I'm a creature of habit, I would go underneath the overhangs on Wednesdays and Fridays and then do jump stretch. So the jump stretch is what the team would do. That's extra work the team would do for the workouts. We would do that stuff for an hour. It's working out in the boxes, do that stuff, working out with stuff, fast twitch with endurance is boom. It's power explosion on certain days. So Wednesday we would do that, and I'd be in there. But before that, I'd be running stadiums. I'd be doing extra work. I'd be putting in extra work. I don't do the bare minimum. And coach would always be watching me. And literally, when you did that stuff, when I see that, so you wake up a monster. Like I'm like, okay, I'm there. Like I see you watching. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I hope you're watching. So he had brought me in his office, and he had brought me in his office before spring break, and he gives me an envelope, and I still have it to this day. I opened the envelope. It said, "Keep working hard, Sean." And I opened the thing. It was a brand new pair of shorts. Now, the story behind that was my shorts were fucked up. They had a rip in them. And I asked him before, right after our season, I said, Coach, you got an extra pair of shorts? He said, "No, you have shorts already." I was like, "All right, okay, but these are ripped." Okay. And then I would go in there, and I did my stadiums. He would watch me from the overhang for 3 months. For 3 months. consistency, commitment. You have to stay committed to your goals. And then, like I said, after spring break, before our spring practice, he said, keep working hard, Sean. He gave me this thing, and I opened it. And there's many times I bring in his office. I remember I'd be in a coach's office talking to him because you look at the film. And a lot of guys, coaches will get who they have out there, and they don't want you to go out there. So when you're out there, I remember scout team. I was scout team. This was 2006. This was my redshirt sophomore year. So I'd be running in on second team and then going to scout team. So I was on scout team, and then I was playing out there. I was doing great. We were doing great. And the coach, the defense coordinator, would go like this. He'd go like this. Hey, guys, look at this. So you look at the play, and he'd be like, throw it to the highlighted player. I'm like, what? I told the quarterback, don't throw it to the guy who's open. Throw it to us. So we'd be open. We'd make the catches, and he'd get pissed. He's like, throw it to the highlighted player. Next play, we throw it to the highlighted player. What do you know? The strong safety's there, the free safety's there, and the weak safety's right in the goddamn middle of the play. Picked off, run, pick six. And you're like, really? So you'd be looking at it, but you'd be looking at the film. And one-on-ones, when you do it in camp, you do great stuff in camp. But a lot of times, sometimes they wanted guys who are first team. Let's say you're first team in 06 preseason. Or they want guys, first teamers, to go against first team DBs. But the problem is when you get up there and you go against first team DB and do good, they don't want you doing that again a lot of times. They're like, all right, let's put this guy against, let's see if he's on second team. Let's put him on a second team DB or third team DB. That made me mad. That infuriated me because this is an old saying, and this is actually true. They say the eye in the sky does not lie. That's a fact. If you have film and you see it, that's why coaches want whole game film. They want to see you sprint off the ball as a receiver and curb stomp a defensive back, throw his ass into the wall. They want to see that. They want to see you on the next play, if it's a pass play, to do the same exact thing, to see how your muscles react to run. It has to look the exact same. Your running plays have to look the same as your passing plays, especially in the first quarter. But then they look at the fourth quarter. They see how your legs are. They see if you're getting tired. They see if you're like, That's why they ask for whole game film when they see that, because anybody can make a cut but make it look like an all-star. I mean, that is what it is. But those are what I'm saying when you have hard work and commitment. That's what it is. So I was in those offices before the Stag Bowl, before our championship, before our playoff run. I've had some conversations with Coach Karras, and I've had those conversations, and he knows that. He knows that. He was there. And, many times, like I said before, I was thinking about when I was hurt in 05. When I transferred in, I scored a touchdown catch in 2005. I got hurt. I had a red shirt. I was thinking about, again, transferring to the University of Hawaii and going out there. Coach Lee said I would be a gung-ho receiver. Gung-ho receiver means you'd be right there. You're working your ass off. I can tell you're a grinder. I would have only had 1 year to play with Colt Brennan in 2007, so I didn't. I stayed at Mount. I was also thinking about transferring to Grand Valley State in Michigan, but I never did it, and I stayed at Mount. I ended up winning 3 championships, but like I said before, you can be at a small school. You can go to Ferris State. You can go to Grand Valley State in Michigan, which are monster schools. Pittsburgh State in Kansas. You can be a monster where you're at, and they will find you. And what I say, I see guys right now in Division III that just got drafted or signed as free agents that are still in camp with some of these teams. I know I can play just as good as them, if not better. But I'm not going out there and be like, hey, NFL, because I'm in my late 30s. Like, that is what it is. I know where I should be at, but you have to have that mentality of, I can do that. I've been doing this stuff. I train this way. I am this way. Professional, I don't care what you see, what you say. Because like I said, when I go to the Hall of Fame field, when I'm training out there, when I'm doing what I need to do out there for everything, I know what they would say. They'd be like, what's that kid? What's that guy doing? What's he doing? What's he doing here? He didn't play last season. He played the year before that, but he's only played like 2 seasons in the last 5 years. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. I'm going to get back to this training. Thank you for your opinion. I'm going to get back to this. I appreciate you. Cool. And then you get guys online that think they know what they're talking about. Guys that sit there and say, oh, you're in your 30s. They never played any high school sports, college sports, pro sports, but they want to sit there and open their mouth. Other guys sit there and say, oh, it's just arena football. That's not pro. Then tell that to, I was in NFL workout camps. I was out there in Jets in New Jersey. I was out there. And I did that shit all on my own. As a backup receiver, played as a backup receiver, only started a couple games, but a backup receiver for a 3-time national championship team, coulda, woulda, shoulda, could have played a lot of places, could have did that stuff. That doesn't mean shit. You were not there, you're an iceberg. You see 10%, you think you see 90%. Just because you look at someone's stats doesn't mean anything. I see guys with loads of stats, and they go out there and play against, and they go on to compete against other people, they fold. That is what it is. I did that shit all on my own with the Jets, with the Seahawks, or with the Browns. I did that all on my own. That's literally, I would stand out there in the practice facility. Hey, go out there. I would do that right now in Jacksonville if I was down there. I would do that in Sioux Falls, Iowa if I was out there. All right? I have a son. I coach other kids, and I do that stuff for them. I'm not selfish in the aspect of doing it out there for myself. All right? But at the same time, if I didn't, I'd be out there right there knocking on the door like, hey, knocking on the door. Hey, some teams have 1, 2, 3 wins, and they want to build what they have. That is what it is. Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If you're undefeated or you're in the playoffs, you don't need a receiver like me, I guess. You got everybody. But if you're on the cusp and you want to get out there and you win, that's when you bring a player like that anyway. There's nothing to lose, everything to gain. I got nothing to lose, everything to gain. I want my son to see me play. He wasn't able to see me play in Green Bay. And a few years ago in Orlando, like I said before, it was only a week thing. If I was out there 3 weeks prior, it would have been fine. But I couldn't. But certain circumstances on God, you trusted it, and you get a chance and opportunity. But like I told you before, you'll see this stuff on here, me training. You'll see all this stuff, the baseball stuff. I catch home run balls. I got that littered in the basement with his stuff, my pictures, and then home run balls and baseball, a bunch of baseball helmets that I had from baseball games. Then you'll see in my room stuff with him, stuff with me coaching kids, doing this stuff, because that means a lot to me. It does. And certain things mean something to certain people, and that is what it is. But people don't want to sit there and talk and bump their gums. Yeah, I've learned over the years, especially years ago, just to block that shit out. Say what you need to say and block it out. Because what they can do is they'll screenshot it. And then, let's say you're coaching kids 3 or 4 years down the road, they'll be like, oh, this guy was rude, blah, 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 blah. They don't know that. They're trying to trigger you into a lot of stuff. I say what I need to say and cover it, say my 2 cents and peace out. That is what it is. Problem is, me being from New York, me being a hothead from New York, I'll say what I need to say, but it's not ever going to be nice if I have something to say. But that is what it is. But, I run myself out there. I do what I need to do out there. It's a struggle a lot of times. It's not, I want to say this. It's not easy. You wake up at 5:15, wake up, get my son ready for school. That's even today during the summer thing he has. Perry Christian, get him over there ready for school, eat breakfast, drive him there, come back, then change, then go to the gym, train myself out there, then help other athletes out, then come here, pick him up from school, come back, and like I said, and I'll swim and then I'll hang out with him, play with him. If he wants to do this stuff right here, this football and baseball, I'll work with him. I'll train him and be his, not just his coach, but his father. Because a lot of guys can raise, can have a kid. Boy can have a kid, but it takes a man to raise one. And that's what it is, man. I say the same message every time. If you look at this stuff in my memories 5, 6, 7 years ago, I say the same kind of message. And that is what it is. So people might look at it and be like, huh? It doesn't bother me. Like I said, I'm not in this world to be mediocre and average. I want to go for the great. I always have the name in the back of my jersey. Always did that as a kid in New York, playing light pole to light pole, football. Love it. Basketball in the backyard. Going to the corner store. I think about writing a book with this and having a ghostwriter do that. Telling them the stories. Like I said, Gino's Pizza. Then going to the basketball park. Coming back. All right, I wouldn't play video games till night. We played Manhunt at night. We played basketball tournament. I played basketball and soccer a lot when I was a kid in New York and football in the street. Basketball at the park. Baseball at the park. Then you hit baseball, light pole. You hit all the light pole, it's a home run. So I would do that. I love it. Those guys that grew up on Dial Lane in Elmont, New York are my brothers. Still keep in contact with them today. Went back when I had to work out with the Jets. Talked to my old school, Holy Name Maverick in Valley Stream, New York. And I lived in Elmont. 2 totally different things right there. So I had a street life and a school life. I had a home life and a school life. 2 totally different things. When you don't understand a kid, I understand people out there. People even my age, even professional athletes doing what they need to do. They have a home life and a professional life. When you're in school, you have a school life and a home life. Because some kids are raised different, then they go to another sport. You got to coach them different. You got to talk to them different. You can't talk to every kid the same. You can't expect them to understand what you're saying. You can't. All right, and not every kid's gonna get it. So, that is what it is. But you see this hard work on here. I know you see 70 stories. I put a whole bunch of stories out there. That is what it is. But if you like it, great. If you don't, that whatever. But I'm going to keep putting that on them. Keep putting me, my routes. I haven't had routes in the last couple of months with my quarterback because he hasn't been able to get out there. And I would love to be practicing somewhere like Jacksonville or Iowa out there with the quarterback 2-3 times a week, and that's all we do. But, I take it day by day, but I'll be the best father I can be no matter where I'm at. Best athlete I can be no matter where I'm at. I'll take all that smoke, all that noise. I'm tired of talking about, I want to be about that action. It's June 10th. So, I know I put in the work. I know other athletes do who are playing right now. But, my message to them, literally is just don't be complacent. All right, if you're on a losing team with 1 or 2 wins, use those games as film. Use those games as next year's leverage for you. Because you could be out there where I was out there in camps in National Football League, and you could be out there and get your shot legitimately. All right? And people like me, like I said before, you be a leader. Even other people have experience who are younger. Let's say they played in the last 4 seasons. I hadn't played 4 years in a row the last 4 years. Learn from them. They can learn from you a lot of stuff, man. They can. And you build a champion that way. Your character. It's your commitment, all right, and your character. My character is built up from a whole bunch of years of when I was overlooked, and I overcame that. It made me mad. I play better when I'm mad. And it just made the monster out of me. And just training-wise, I had that thought in my head, just Arizona, boom, 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 boom. Just have that thought in your head. You always had that thought in your head. And like I said before, I try to inspire other people, try to inspire other athletes. That's what it is as a professional. When you get out there, you inspire other athletes out there. Even when you're in Jersey, even when I was in Jersey, in Florham Park, see out there with the Jets. They went to bigger schools. They went to youth schools. They got all the stats, blah, blah, blah. I just blocked that out. And you have to when you get to that point. But I want to teach my son, no matter what, somebody can come from a bigger school, somebody can be all there and do that stuff. You keep putting your commitment to it. You keep working hard at it. You keep on consistency at something. You will get better when they fall asleep, when they just think stuff's easy on them, when they think literally they can just walk all over you and sleep on you. Let them get their rest. Let them get their rest. You work hard, you bust your ass, and be so good where they can't ignore you. And if they do, if any coaches do that, politics, anything that happens, it's going to happen in life. It might not work out for you, but you be the best you can be every single day. All right? And that is what it is. You go out there and you listen to this, go out there and be great.